before I made this video, I kind of want to take a look at how the rest of the league fared today. But let's go back to the game we're talking about. Dallas Cowboys, Tampa Bay Bucs. Boys win 16-10. Probably the only people who actually watched that game were Cowboys fans and Bucs fans, because if you're anybody else, there's no reason to watch that. Dallas wins very ugly, not very impressive at all, but they do get the victory. And I know it's the old cliche of, well, a win's a win's a win. And really, to an extent that's true, to an extent it's not. Because you can see trends, you can see problems that can pop up in the future. Yeah, the win is the most important thing. But this team is far from being where they need to be. The only good thing about this is it's early in the season. But you do need to look at this game with a little more perspective, because there's two ways to look at it. You can look at it just at this game. If we just look at this game, Dallas escaped with that one. And defensively played great, but offensively have so many questions need to be answered, mainly on the offensive line. Tony Romo, at some point, unless that gets fixed, will be dead on the field, and we'll have to find a new quarterback. But Tony, he himself today, the first pick, again, it's something about those first half so far. He's got to throw at least one pick. I don't know if it's to get it out of his system or what, but he's doing that. Had 2 fumbles. First fumble, that's on him. Got to wrap the ball up. Second fumble, we double team. We double team. We tried to double team an outside defender. He gets through. Tony gets blindsided. That one's not on him. But that's part of the problem, though, is the fact that he got blindsided, because it wasn't the only time today. I remember at one point they mentioned that he dropped back 20 times at one point, was sacked 4 times. Believe he was hit, not to look again, 8 to 12 times today. That's inexcusable, especially when you have a mobile quarterback. Just think if we had a statue back there, how bad it could have been back there. But overall, offensively did not look good. DeMarco Murray is a hard runner. He played well for what he could, but can only do what he gets. And the offensive line did not help him at all. But good thing for us, our defense decided to play today. Last week, they were embarrassed in Seattle. Marshawn Lynch and that offensive line drove it down their throats in the second half. And I mean, at one point went 90 yards for a touchdown drive to pretty much seal that game last week. Today, playing the Bucs. Look, the Bucs are not known for having a great offense. They played good last week against New York, kind of gave it up there, and the Giants beat them. But today, you could just see the ineptitude on the Tampa Bay side of the football. But got to credit the Cowboys defense, because they had a job to do. They did their job today, and that's why the Cowboys won today. So you can look at it from that standpoint and say, wow, how many problems do the Cowboys have? But then you look at the rest of the league. After 3 weeks of play, or almost 3 entire weeks of football, do we really know who are the good teams and who are the bad teams so far? I mean, there's some that stand out. Houston has proven that they are a solid football team. San Francisco coming this week looks like they were almost unbeatable, but then they lose to a Minnesota team who people have questions about. That's how the league has been this year. So as a Cowboys fan, as I look at us at 2-1, I consider ourselves fortunate. The fact that after 3 weeks, we're going to be tied atop the lead of the NFC East, actually have the tiebreaker since we have a division win under our belt. Does that mean much right now, week 3? No, it doesn't. But, because after watching the Giants completely destroy Carolina Thursday night, but Washington goes down today, and the Philly, they've been flirting with losing for a while, they finally get their tails kicked in Arizona. So right now, division-wise, Dallas looks like they're okay. NFL-wise, record-wise, we look like they're okay. But Cowboys fans, we've seen this before. We've seen this team kind of, we know the offensive parts can work. We know that we can fix these problems, but will those problems get fixed? Because there's really no excuse to have an anemic offense when you have that much talent around you. Maybe it's the offensive line, I don't know. But the drop pass have to stop, and of course that brings up Jason Witten. And Jason Witten, of course, is the warrior on this team, but I don't think he's right. Because a guy like that, the thing is, because some people may bring up the fact that maybe he's getting too old. He's not getting too old, because he's still getting open. He can run his routes. He can get past defenders. That's the reason the ball's going towards him, because he's getting himself open. I think he's still, I don't know if he's gun shy or what, but there's got to be some reason. And I have faith in Jason Witten that he knows how to fix whatever's going on. But there were some passes that needed to be caught that he didn't be able to catch. But like I said, I'm not going to be too hard on Jason Witten, one, for everything he's done for this team. I think we can give him a couple of mulligans because I think if there's anyone on this team that's earned the right to kind of go through a little funk, I think it's Jason Witten. But to me, I don't think it says something about, like, is it the end of his career? Is he done? No. The fact that he's able, as a tight end, to get open in the secondary and find the holes for Tony to find him, I got no problem with that. So, but overall, the Cowboys won. You've got to get better next week when you have Chicago coming home. But if we can win that game next week, after 4 weeks going into the bye, you're 3-1. If you told me, hey, do you want to take a 3-1 start for Dallas to go into the bye week, I'd take it all day. Of course, the loss, I would think, would probably have been to the Giants, not to Seattle, though Seattle has proven to be a solid team as well. So it's a strange year so far. It's a strange league so far. It does make the games more fun. And so, but so with that being said, that's why I can take a little more appreciation for the win today, just because you got the win. But it's going to have to get better for Dallas if they're going to want to do something later on in the year and compete in this division, which, hey, we'll see how good it is. I mean, it looks like the Giants have gotten through their little growing pains, their little problems there at the first, and they really put it on Carolina last week. So that scares me a little bit, just see them kind of rocking and rolling the way they did this week. So, but hey, week to week, they may play like garbage next week. Who knows? So, but Cowboys, it's about the Bears this coming up week, Monday Night Football. I'm expecting to have a good showing, but who really knows this team anymore? So, how about them Cowboys? We got the W, 2-1. Next week, Chicago. See you guys later.